Commander Paul Noel succeeded in cleaning up the sex crimes unit of the New Orleans Police Department.
I knew that there were some issues with cases not being investigated properly, but we had no idea about the untested sexual assault case. That was a major shock.
After persistent reports that New Orleans police just weren't investigating sexual assaults, Noel was drafted in 2010. He soon cleared a backlog of almost 1,000 untested DNA samples stacked up in boxes like this. Some dated back to the 80s.
And each one represented an allegation of rape that had not been pursued.
We've been doing this for a while,
After 10 months, amid pledges of improved training and reform, Noel was promoted. But it soon became clear that little had changed at the unit he'd left behind.
I was drugged, I was raped, my car was stolen.
Maria Tremay says she was attacked at a New Orleans club in June of 2014. The initial police response was sympathetic. The subsequent lines of inquiry were not.
It was all about how much did she have to drink, how much does Maria drink, what is she like when she was, all questions about trying to make me out to be a liar, and not about let's catch a rapist. Even though my body was the time-sensitive material, they get me to the hospital last thing.
The police overlooked fingerprints and genetic material in her recovered stolen car and didn't secure surveillance video from the club where the incident took place. That video has since been erased.
That was the new training. A positive initial response. But after that, nothing's changed. It's the same old, no one doing their job, it seems.
Commander Noel is back at the Special Victims section, this time heading a task force investigating hundreds of allegations of rape and child abuse between 2011 and 2013 that were ignored by detectives. When he returned, he also discovered that the backlog of rape testing kits had again piled up.
And what happened over years and years and years, the culture of the sexual assault investigation was handled really has changed into a way of sometimes not believing victims, victimizing victims twice, not properly conducting interviews with the well-being of the victim.
And we've talked to survivors who say that's still happening. Like a few months ago, that happened.
And I would tell you that probably is. We're probably not where we need to be yet.
Noel insists that this time he will put in place a clear protocol for dealing with sex crimes, with firm penalties for those who don't obey. Activists praise him for his willingness to engage with them, but they worry that without outside intervention, change will never take root.
That whole department is a house of cards, and it falls down if he leaves. They're the same cast of characters who have been making the same mistakes over and over again, and we need an outside bureau, perhaps even all the way up to the Attorney General's office, who can come in and can investigate what's going on in New Orleans.
The experience of the New Orleans Police Department is striking because its problems have been so well documented since at least 2004, from local journalists' investigations to Department of Justice censure to the setting up of a more robust system of inspections from the City Inspector General. And yet even the city's own officials admit it's not yet been enough. Shihab Ratansi, Al Jazeera, New Orleans.